Today I want to talk about another version of Linux for everybody that watched the last video on Fedora. I'm a huge unabashed fan of Linux. I am going to start today by talking about another distribution of Linux called Linux Mint. Linux Mint is amazing. I kind of like it. Um, I'm going to start Linux Mint. We're just going to write from here. Again, I'm doing this in a virtual machine because I want you guys to see what it would look like if you had just stuck an ISO directly into, burns it to a USB stick and then plugged it in and then booted off that USB stick for the first time. This is what you would be seeing. So I want to do the whole video front to back, just like that. Linux Mint is amazing. I think it's very approachable for Windows people. The reason for that is it looks Cinnamon, which is the desktop environment that Linux Mint runs, looks a lot like Windows in certain ways. And that's not to insult it or to say anything bad about Windows or Linux Mint. I just think that if you use Fedora, which is what I use, it looks a little bit more like Mac. If you use Mint, it looks a little bit more like Windows. So if you're a Windows person coming off of that, go. We're gonna install right now. This might feel a little bit normal. You'll see it's got a start menu. It's got desktop icons, just like Windows does. It's got some icons on the start bar, and you can customize this if you're more of a Windows 11 person. You can center all this instead of having on the left like um, Windows 10 is. So we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna do the install here. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like to do the install. We do want to check the box for multimedia codecs. You always want to do that. Okay. Yep. That's what we want to do. I want to install now. Now, again, if you're installing this, I recommend you do not have your Windows. My recommendation for installation is, hey, grab another SSD you might have laying around. If you don't have one, they're like 20 bucks off Amazon. It's very simple. Unplug your Windows drive, plug in this. There we go. Do not require that. Again, you're going to want to require your password to log in, but I'm just going to do this for demonstration purposes for locking in automatically. You may choose to encrypt the home folder. That's pretty cool. If you do that, it's going to ask you for an encryption password, I think, as well. But I'm going to do automatic just because this is a demonstration. Okay, look at that. Okay. Again, so I recommend what you would do is unplug your Windows drive, plug in the new SSD, and then install to that SSD without the Windows SSD being plugged in, just to make sure you're not going to run into problems. But we're going to install this and we'll come back in a minute when it's already ready to go. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we're going to restart now. Okay, so we're back in Linux Mint. So I'm going to say do not show this connect message again. All right, so let's go. We're going to run through the basic stuff. So let's just go through this list one at a time. This is really cool that they do this because this allows you to see what's going on. So I'm going to go to dark mode, and this is going to be the style. I'm going to use that as my color. Cool. Go into my system snapshots. Cool. Okay. So this is a really cool thing to do. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the way like Time Machine works on Apple. So it's going to allow us to take snapshots of the system so we can revert just in the event that the system ever becomes corrupted or it does whatever it's going to do. This is going to set up an automatic snapshot for us. We're going to take 5 daily snapshots. We're going to keep 5 at a time. And I'm going to say finish. There we go. Time shift is active. So we're good. So that's cool. So now we have automatic time shifts. Driver manager, we can launch this. I'm pretty sure my drivers are good. Again, this is a virtual machine, but if you install this and you've got any kind of weird issues going on, um, definitely click this little driver manager. And if there's anything here needed, just hit yes. Scroll down here, update manager. You're going to want to launch that. I'm just going to show you, but basically this is going to do this. It's going to look for updates. It's probably going to find a bunch because I haven't updated this machine yet when you get this. Yes, I want, now I'm not going to switch to local mirror, but it's fine. I would definitely select all and then install. I'm not going to do that because it's 106 of them. It's going to take forever. But when you guys do it the first time, always do your installs, always do your automatic updates. Um, that's pretty much going to be it. I'm not going to use the firewall. I'm going to uncheck that right now because, again, this is just demonstration. Software Manager, I recommend you launch that. This is really cool. This is how, just like on Fedora or any Linux distribution, you add software to your system. So it's generating its thing right now. I'm just going to show you something very simple. For example, we're going to do an installation of Discord, but you can find all the same apps on here. And again, you want to be using FlatHub, which I'm pretty sure is enabled out of the box. Okay, so let's come in here. I'm just going to do a basic search for something that you guys have probably seen a bunch. Discord. There's Discord right here, and you see it has got the little FlatHub thing here. So you'll see here FlatHub, which is where I want to get it from. I don't want to get it from anything else. Let's click install. This is going to say, hey, this needs a bunch of other things too. Good. Install it all. I want all the dependencies. Okay. Discord is installed. I can easily just click launch. There it is. And again, you guys are probably very familiar with this. So I'm not going to show the full install of Discord or the full setup of Discord. It's fine when you guys install this the first time. Go ahead and log in, etc., etc. Close all this out. Close all this out. I'm done here. If you want to jump into your system settings, you can. There's not a lot of things that need to be changed, but this is what you would call in Windows a control panel, and this will allow you to do and change all these cool things. So you can come in here and play around and change some stuff. I don't really need to change anything out of the box on Mint. It's set up pretty good right from the start. So let's do a quick tour. Down here is your basic start button, start menu. If I want to type in an application or find an application, you can go and search. Like I said, they have all these things on here. They have LibreOffice already installed. They have some stuff in here. You can go by category. I usually just type in my application that I'm looking for immediately, and there it is. What is this? Software manager. This is the settings. This is your terminal. This is your file manager. This is how it looks. Really simple. Home. This is our desktop. It's our documents folder. Everything here is empty because this is a brand new install. But yeah, there's our file system. There's everything here. Go to a list format so I can see everything. This is pretty standard, nothing crazy here, nothing really hard to get. So that's the start menu, and it works just like the Windows start menu. This is some of our icons here. So if I wanted to, for example, go over here and say Discord, I want to make that my start menu. Yeah. Add to panel. There we go. There we go. Now we're down here. And if I didn't want my terminal down here, for example, I could say unpin from panel, and now it's done. Over here on the bottom right is our little icon center, again, just like Windows. So I think Discord is running in the background. That's what it is. So because it's running in the background, I'm just going to quit. This is my updates little center. If there's an update that you need to do or something that's going on, you'll get the little shield with the orange dot. And those things need to go on. This is for the CD that I have in there. So right now I just still have the ISO image mounted, so I can eject that. Eject, just like that. CD-ROM has been unplugged. So that's your USB stick. This is the network center. Basic sound settings. Yeah, so this is a pretty straightforward application. The reason I like Linux Mint is because if I'm used to a start menu style thing versus versus a panel like Fedora has, for example, I'm used to just having things down here, and I'm used to opening up Windows, for example, and I'm used to just the way this looks very much like what I'm used to if I'm a Windows guy. So I think it's just a little bit easier to kind of navigate or migrate from Windows to this. It feels just a little bit more normal for a Windows user, but because it's not Windows, you get the strength of the Linux and the fact that everything is free, and the fact that it's much more stable and it's a lot lighter weight and it's not spying on you. All these things. So I'm a huge fan of Linux Mint. If Fedora didn't exist, this would be my daily driver. I actually did daily drive Mint for quite some time. I like it a lot. I just like the way that the GNOME desktop environment looks more, and that feels more native on Fedora. But Linux Mint and Cinnamon, which is what you're seeing here, is quite beautiful. I think it's great. I think it's a great Linux choice. So I recommend and encourage you guys give it a shot.